All right, everybody, welcome back to part 42 of my 2025 DVD and Blu-ray collection overview series. We are working on actually the bottom shelf of the other shelf. So we're working through again all the stuff that I haven't watched yet. And here it's mostly we got half music, half TV shows, and then I did pull because I did have some overflow, some music overflow, which we'll get to that stuff too. But yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. So the next, which I'll get to tomorrow on New Year's Eve because it won't take that long. The next run of stuff should be pretty quick. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's start with. Let's do the TV shows. We'll start with the TV shows. And again, these are some of the bigger box sets that I put on the bottom because I didn't want them to take up all the space that I have. But I might actually, since I do have some room now, I might actually shift some things around. But I found this at Goodwill for $10. I couldn't believe it. But it's the complete series of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Yeah, I used to watch this all the time back in the day. My grandmother used to watch this quite a bit. You can't go wrong with Jane Seymour and Joe Landau. Come on now. So there you go. And it does include, there is some extra features on here, which is pretty cool. And it also, in addition to having the complete series, it does have the two TV movies, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, the movie, and The Heart Within. So there you go. And I don't think anybody actually watched these because all the discs are spotless. Yeah, a couple fingerprints, but you can remove those easily with, Windex and such. But it has all 6 seasons of the show and then the 2 TV movies, so you can't go wrong. Actually, I'm gonna pop this door open, give me a little more room to work with. So it will get a little chilly, but I think I'll get over it. And then next up, I do have, like the Transformers box set, Scam Factory also put out a G.I. Joe box set. This is the G.I. Joe Foot Locker. So I love this set. This set is absolutely awesome. So you have the complete original 80s series in here, which is very cool. You got a flash drive with some different stuff on there, and then you get all the extras and everything. And I will pop this open. But yeah, this is what it looks like on the inside. And unfortunately, when I was in the Army, they got rid of the foot lockers. So I would like to get some of the old school foot lockers to have. But all the discs sit in there and everything, which is pretty cool. But this is a really nice, again, this is definitely one of my favorite DVD box sets. And I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan, but I do love the, at least the original cartoon. And then I do have some of the other G.I. Joe stuff here. So first up, I do have the movie on Blu-ray, and DVD. It's a combo pack. So there you go. Then I have G.I. Joe Renegades, which was only 1 season, which this was trying to be a little bit of an older, little more mature G.I. Joe, like Resolute, but that never came out on Blu-ray, but this did. So there you go. Then I have the 90s series. They call it Series 2, but I have the 90s G.I. Joe cartoon, or 1989, I'm sorry, that's when it started, but you know what I mean. The second G.I. Joe cartoon. So that's Volume 1, or Season 1, and then this is Season 2. And again, I think same thing. Season 2, they didn't make as many of them, or it was a lower print number, or what the case was, and that one got a little pricey, but I was able to find it a little cheaper. But it does need a new case because the case is busted, but that's okay. I have plenty of extra cases lying around here. So there you go. And then we have the Valor versus Venom movie, because that was the toy line that they were working on at the time. They did a movie for it. Unfortunately, stuck on DVD, but that's okay. I don't think I might have watched this one when it was originally on too, back in the day. And then they did the G.I. Joe Sigma 6 series. This is First Strike, which I think was actually the pilot movie, if I'm not mistaken. And then they never released really anything from the series. They did do these random DVDs that came with the toys. This is Ninja Showdown Part 2. I have to get some of the other ones, but yeah, they never did a series proper set. It was just the pilot movie and then some random ones again that came with the toys. So there's that. Yeah, I'll work on this. So on the bottom, because there were so many of them, I did put all my Simpsons DVDs there. I do have one of the seasons on Blu-ray. We'll get to that in the next part, actually. But I do have the ones that are on DVD. But also, before we do that, since this was created by the same people that worked on The Simpsons, we have the Critic complete series. I remember watching this one a little bit. This one was pretty funny. John Lovitz did the voice of the Critic, which is awesome. But this was a cool cartoon. Unfortunately, again, stuck on DVD. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the Simpsons stuff here. So, of course, we have Season 1, which at the time, this was the highest selling DVD for a TV series. I know I talked about this before, but back in the day, The Simpsons was number one for quite a while, and then Chappelle's Show, when that came out, overtook it. The Star Trek DVDs were always in the top selling. Buffy and Angel, X-Files, those were the biggest sellers back in the day. And then we have Season 2, which has still got I think it got screwed up, but that's okay. Season 3, which I think this one had the Michael Jackson episode, so now this one's really expensive to get. I think a lot of these have gone up in price, to be honest, but when I was getting them, they were still, first of all, they were kind of still being made, and then they made them again, then they stopped making them again. I did a whole rant video about that on the old channel. And then that got taken down. Of course it did. And then we have Season 4. But they were still in print at the time. I think they're all out of print now because Fox isn't around anymore. Then we have Season 5. And then they decided that they were going to change the fucking packaging. Where the fuck is... Okay. Alright, cool. I just had it backwards. Okay, Season 6 ended up moving elsewhere. Then they decided that they were going to do all these character head packaging. So then we have Season 6, which is Homer. Season 7, which is Marge. Season 8, which is Maggie. Season 9, which is Lisa. Season 10, which is Bart. Season 11, which is Krusty. Season 12, which is Comic Book Guy. And then I want to say, no, this one's not on Blu-ray. Okay, I thought this one was on Blu-ray, but we have Season 13, Ralphie. Season 14, I don't remember which of the aliens it is, if it's Kang or the other one. I'm sorry. This one got busted, though. season 15, which I think 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 are on Blu-ray. I actually have season 16 on Blu-ray because I just randomly bought it at one point, and then I think they all went out of print too, and then yeah, this one's busted too because they're so fucking flimsy. I think the Blu-rays might be expensive. I'm not sure. Then we have season 17. Yeah, 16 I have on Blu-ray. I think it's 15, 16, 17, 18. Or no, 15, 16, 17. I think are the... Maybe, I'm not sure. I'll look it up in a second here. But then I have 17, which I did not pay $50 for this at FYE. That's when I had my hookup. I think I got it for like 20 or 25. I got it really cheap, actually. So they did the first 17, and then they jumped to 20, which we'll get to. And then they canceled them, and then they brought them back, and they did 18 and 19. Or no, they did 18, then they canceled it, and then they brought it back and did 19, and then they canceled it again, and then nobody cared. When they canceled them the first time, then people cared about that. The second time they canceled them, nobody gave a shit. So there you go. And then I have season 18, which might be on Blu-ray. Again, I will look it up in a minute here, since we have time. And then season 20. But they did season 20 way before, and then they went back for whatever reason. So the first 20 seasons are available on DVD and Blu-ray. I will look it up quickly here, since again we have plenty of time. If I could spell. Apparently I can't spell. Alright. Yeah, season 20 is on Blu-ray. I'm looking at it now. The first 20 seasons are available on DVD and Blu-ray. In 2015, they said there will be no more DVDs. After fan protest, season 18 was released. 2 years later, after that, season 19 was released, and then that was it. So there has not been a season released in 6 years. I don't think you're getting them. So there's that. Let me see if it says which ones are on Blu-ray. I passed it. Okay, here it is. So, I was right, actually. Season 13 with Ralphie is on Blu-ray. So 13, Kang, I'm sorry, it was Kang. 14, 15, Otto. 16, Professor Frink. I have 16 on Blu-ray. 17 with Sideshow Bob, and that's it. So it's 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So they only put 5 and then season 20. So those are the only ones that are on Blu-ray. I'll have to get those at some point. And then, of course, the movie is on Blu-ray. So 13 through 17 and then 20. So there you go. So, and they're not... Again, it was just so funny that in 2015, 10 years ago, the first time they canceled the DVDs, people lost their fucking shit. When they canceled them again, nobody cared. I just find that very funny. So the rest of the stuff that's on that shelf, and then the overflow, is all, once again, music. Because like I said, I've been going crazy with the music DVDs and the Blu-rays lately. So, because I've been finding them at the thrift stores and the flea market and everything, so I'm getting them cheap. So, yeah, well, you know what? We'll do this. We'll go DVD and then into Blu-ray. So first up, we got Motorhead. This is Sacrifice in Argentina, Veterans Day 1995, although I'm sure in Argentina they don't celebrate American Veterans Day. But this is a bootleg, but that's okay. Then we've got some AC/DC. Can't go wrong with these guys. We got Stiff Upper Lip Live, which is stuck on DVD. But that's okay. There you go. Then we have Family Jewels, which everybody had this one back in the day on DVD. I remember that. Like I said, there was a guy that I used to hang out with. I wouldn't really say we were friends, but he had this one. I remember we would go over to his house a lot and watch it. But there you go. Love this DVD. And then this actually is a Blu-ray, but it comes in this nice tin. It's the Let There Be Rock movie concert film. So I found this at a record store. But yeah, it's actually the Blu-ray release. And I think there's a bonus disc in here. No? No, it's the booklet and pictures and stuff like that. So there you go. But great set here. Can't go wrong. Classic concert film. Let that be rock. Sorry. Then we got some Kicks, hometown band from Baltimore, bootlegs here. So first up we have Japan '89 and Baltimore '83. Pure Rock was a TV show in Japan '89, and then the Baltimore footage is from the Seagull Inn. I think my mom used to go to that club back in the day. That was on the USA Network's Hot Spots back in the day, 1983. So there you go. And then we have Hammerjacks, 1991. I think this was the 4th of July that year. It doesn't say, but I think that's what it is. Then we got the reunion gig, Jack's Nightclub, September 23rd, 2005, which I don't think they're around anymore, in Springfield, Virginia, which is about an hour and a half from here, I think, something like that, somewhere around there. But I don't think that club is around anymore. But all the hard rock, the metal bands and stuff would play there when they were open. And then we have the M3 Festival, which is in Columbia, Maryland, which is not that far from here, 2012. Which is actually, Kicks played their last show. They played it at the same spot, the Merriweather Pavilion, but they played M3 that year, and then they came back in the fall and played their last show. Unfortunately, I did not get to go. But then we have Savage Garden, Superstars and Cannonballs, live and on tour in Australia. Yeah, they were a pop band, but I liked a lot of their songs back in the day, and I still like their music. So yeah, this should be a pretty cool DVD. And then we got some Rolling Stones DVDs here. So first up we have the Bridges to Babylon tour 97 and 98 live in concert. Got this at, I think, Retro Replay. Doesn't say where it was recorded. Yeah, it does not actually say where, but I think it might have been different locations. I'm not sure. Then this is an official bootleg. This is the Rolling Stones Out of Control live 1998. I'm not sure where. Poland 1998. So this is probably something that aired on television, and somebody borrowed the tape and put it out there. So there you go. Then we have these little box sets here. We've got 4 flicks, which I think it's let me see, Tip of the Tongue and Licks Around the World documentaries. Madison Square Garden, which I think that aired on HBO if I'm not mistaken. London and Paris. So there you go. And it's all pro shot stuff. So can't go wrong. Come on, get in there. Come on. Go back to your home. That's your home. Are you not good enough for your home? Answer me. Then I just got this one again at Retro Replay, The Biggest Bang, which I think was the Big Bang Tour. Yeah, or a Bigger Bang Tour. I think the album was called The Big Bang. I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But we got Austin, Texas, Disc 1, Rio de Janeiro, disc 2. Disc 3 is Japan, China, and Argentina, and then disc 4 is the documentary about the tour. So yeah, you get all sorts of cool stuff there. Again, love the Rolling Stones, always did. They canceled their tour for 2026. I hope everything is okay, but these guys are in their 80s, so they're getting old. Excuse me. This is on Blu-ray, but I did not know until after I purchased this DVD, but it's okay because I've never seen this before. Even if I did, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But this is The Doors, Mr. Mojo Rise in the story of L.A. Woman. So look forward to checking this out. Speaking of 80-year-olds, Robbie Krieger will be 80, I think, in January. And he's still out there playing, which is awesome. Great stuff. Then we have a couple Cream DVDs, which over the Christmas break, Christmas Eve, we went to my cousin's house, and her oldest daughter was like, yeah, I like the band Cream. I'm like, there's hope for the future. So there we go. And she's 17, so that's awesome. But this is called Strange Brew. Cure what's inside of you. Great song. And I love Cream. That's my favorite thing that Eric Clapton did. Not that I didn't like the stuff he did later, because I do, but Cream was always my favorite for some. I don't know, it's just that British blues power trio, with some other stuff thrown in there. I don't know, just something about it. And then we have their episode of classic albums for Disarelli Gears. I think I got both of these at Second and Charles, but two different Second and Charles. I think this one was in the York store in Pennsylvania, and this is Harrisburg, I think. But again, love these. I just wish they were longer. And then there we go. We got some Rush DVDs here. Love Rush. Not really interested in their Rush 2.0. It's just not for me. It's not. You can't replace Neil Peart. You just can't. But this is the R30 30th anniversary tour. So disc 1 is a full concert. I don't know if it's one show or it's multiple locations. And then disc 2 is all the extra features, which is very cool. Love the art. Rush always had amazing art, whether it was, I think Storm Thorgerson worked with them, and then I forget the other guy's name that worked with them quite a bit, and it's got guitar picks and all sorts of stuff in here. Who's the other guy that worked? Oh, this has the bonus disc, I think, right? Oh, it does. So, yeah, there's 2 bonus discs in here. I forgot about that. Let me see. Hugh Syme. Yeah, okay, Hugh Syme. Like, his name was on the tip of my tongue. I just couldn't get it out. But Hugh Syme worked with them a lot. So yeah, it has 2 bonus discs. Actually, I forgot that they were in here. But I remember a lot of people I knew had this back in the day too, which is awesome. And then we have Rush Replay ×3, which is Exit Stage Left, Grace Under Pressure Tour, and A Show of Hands, which were 3 of the VHS tapes that came out back in the day. They're just compiled on here. But unfortunately, this is missing the bonus CD, so I have to try and find that, which is the, I think it's the, Grace Under Pressure Tour. You get that on CD as well. So I have to, again, I didn't realize it till after I bought it. I was like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'll just get one. And then we have, I found this at a Goodwill, the Rush Chronicles DVD collection, which is a bunch of their music videos on here. So, very cool stuff. Love Rush. Then we got actually the only Bon Jovi DVD I have, when I love Bon Jovi, but This Left Feels Right Live, which I think was a full concert. It doesn't say. Taped live on high definition video on November 14th and 15th at the Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa in Atlantic City. Okay, so there you go. Answered my own question. And we got Nickelback, the videos. Get over it. I like Nickelback. It's only 7 videos. I think this was one of those like cheapo ones they put out. I think there's another DVD, if I'm not mistaken, of Nickelback that has more of their videos on there. But I've always liked Nickelback. I don't understand, what they did to get all this hate and everything. I guess it was just cool to hate on them like it was for Creed. But they were a band like Creed that blew up very quickly, very big, very quickly. So I think that was the problem with a lot of people. But I've always liked them, so I can't complain. All right, next up we got some. We got some Van Halen DVDs here. So first up we have Live Without a Net, which was the first tour they did with Sammy Hagar. Hopefully, since next year will be the 40th anniversary of the 5150 album and this video, we'll get it on Blu-ray. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Then we have Live Right Here, Right Now, which this is okay. It's really a hack job. It's all right. The album, like the music that was on here was good. But, because I love that live record, even though Sammy had to re-record all his vocals. But, the video, it's like a hack job. You could tell when you watch it. And then we have, this is a bootleg, but this is Jiffy Lube Live in Bristow, Virginia, August 29th, 2015. I was actually at this show, so that's why I picked this DVD. I think I got this at Chiller. There was a guy selling bootleg concert DVDs. So, yeah. But I was there. I was at that show, so that's why. And then we have Video Hits Volume 1, which they did not make any more after this. And the shitty thing is, it only has 3 of the David Lee Roth videos, and then I think most of the Sammy Hagar videos, and then 1 with Gary Sharon. But they never did a Volume 2, so there you go. But I love that shot there of Eddie's guitar with the cigarette smoke and everything. That just looks so cool. But my favorite band, Van Halen, is, I'm sure a lot of you already know. And then we got some Judas Priest DVDs here. First up, we have Live Vengeance 82, which I think prior to this coming out, the only way you could get it on DVD was you had to buy the box set, which I have over there. That's all CDs, but I think this was the bonus disc in here, or in there. And yeah, it's right in front of me. DVD content previously releases Judas Priest Metallurgy box set. So there you go. But I got this because I figured, what the hell, it was $5. Then we have Rising in the East. So there you go. This is from, it says 2005. Yes, 2005. Okay. So there's that. Just want to make sure. Then we have Electric Eye, which this is 13 music videos, 19 live tracks, and 6 TV performances. There you go. Yep, so you have the Fuel for... That was a VHS. The live stuff was one of the VHS tapes that came out. And then it's got all the videos up until Painkiller, and then you get some BBC performances. So there you go. And then we have their episode of classic albums, British Steel. So there you go, which I love. British Steel, great album. I just listened to it on vinyl not long ago. Then we actually got some more, I should put this with the other one, but we got some more Uncle Ted DVDs here. I got all these at, again, Chiller a couple years ago. So we have Live in Oakland. This is The Day on the Green, 1979, that Uncle Ted played. Love Uncle Ted. Then we have the Nokia Theater, June 24th, 2007. This is a... It says it's an audience record. Yeah, it's crowd shot, but that's okay. Then we have the Hard as Nails video anthology, 2 volumes here. So here's volume 1. Got some Amboy Duke stuff. London 1978, The Midnight Special, The Old Grey Whistle Test, music videos, interviews, all sorts of... There's some Damn Yankee stuff on here. There you go. And then we got volume 2. So you got Rock Palast. Again, London. I think the full concert on here, though. So there's a bunch of different stuff on here, which is very cool. But love Uncle Ted. You guys know that. Alright, now we got a bunch of Iron Maiden DVDs. Love Iron Maiden. You guys know this. Their episode of Classic Albums for The Number of the Beast. And it's PlayStation 2 compatible. I would love the older DVDs when they would have that on there. Because I guess maybe in the beginning, a lot of them were not being played on the PlayStation 2 for whatever reason. So I don't know. But I love when they would be on there. Then we have the History of Iron Maiden Part 1, the early days. I remember a guy I used to be friends with. He had this one on DVD back in the day. We're not friends for many reasons. But this is cool. It's got some Paul Di'Anno stuff on here. Early Bruce Dickinson stuff is on here as well. So you can't go wrong. And then I think it has a documentary. And they did do a Part 2 and a Part 3 of that, but they're on different releases. Actually, Part 2 is on this release. Yeah, it is actually. But this is the Live After Death video. I do have this on vinyl as well. Just listened to it not long ago. But yeah, the History of Iron Maiden Part 2 is included on this DVD. And then there's some other extras and stuff on there too. Then we have Made in England 88, which I just got this recently. Because Retro Replay had it, but they wanted $30 for it, and then somebody ended up buying it, and then I was kind of going back and forth on eBay, and I finally just pulled the trigger. But it does have the hype sticker still on there, which is cool. And this actually has History of Iron Maiden Part 3. So there you go. Told you. And some extras and stuff, but very cool stuff. Then we have Death on the Road, which was, I think, A Matter of Life and Death. No, it's the Dance of Death tour from 2003. My bad. And there's a documentary and different stuff. And that's the other thing. Iron Maiden, when they would do these DVDs back in the day, they would go all out. And they don't do that anymore. So there you go. And then we have the Visions of the Beast, the complete video history. I think that same guy had this one too, if I remember correctly. But it's all the videos up until the Brave New World record. So there you go. Then we got some Rat and Stephen Pearcy solo stuff. Alright, so first up we have the updated version of Video Archive 1984 through 91. We talked about this in a previous segment. But it's got some live stuff and music videos and stuff on here, which is cool. Then we got the Pearcy solo stuff. He put out a bunch of these DVDs. I have 2. I think there's 2 more, but they're very expensive and they're hard to get a hold of. But this is live in Las Vegas, because the only way to get them back in the day was on his website. It doesn't say what year, but there you go. And then we have Defending the Faith. But like I said, I think there were 2 other ones that he did. I'll have to track those down. Interviews, backstage footage, and live performance. So, and again, it doesn't say what year they were recorded and such. And then we have Anthology 1977 through 2007. Which has some stuff with Rat and solo stuff, and actually there's also a CD in here. I forgot. So it's a DVD and a CD. Cool. And then we have some Guns N' Roses. First up we have Welcome to the Videos, which this is another one that everybody had back in the day, I remember. and it was constantly at Walmart and such. I just didn't get it until recently here, but it's all the classic Guns N' Roses videos, so there you go. And then we have the Use Your Illusion World Tour 1992 in Tokyo. It was originally a 2 VHS set, and then they put it out as a double DVD set as well. So there you go. I think that's all of the classic stuff that's Guns N' Roses on DVD. Then we got some Poison. This is live, raw, and uncut. I think this is when they first got back together in the early 2000s. Or no, later on actually. 2008 is the copyright date, so I'm sorry. And then we have the greatest video hits, which we covered. One of the other one I have was just like a little sampler DVD, but this has 17 videos on here, which is cool. So yeah, always like Poison. Then we've got Pink Floyd, The Wall, which probably will never come out on Blu-ray. I doubt. I'd be very shocked if it did. But I do love Pink Floyd, The Wall. It is weird, it is strange, it is trippy, but that's why I like it. So there you go. And then we have a couple Rainbow DVDs, Richie Blackmore. I should have put it with the Deep Purple, but that's okay. But this is Live in Munich, 1977. So you got Ronnie James Dio on vocals, Bob Daisley on bass, and Cozy Powell on the drums. It really doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Especially that rhythm section. And then we have Black Masquerade, which was later on. I want to say this was 1995. So this is when Richie left Deep Purple for the final time. He brought Rainbow back for a couple years, and then that's when he met his wife Candace, and they started doing the the Mediterranean, not Mediterranean, medieval. My bad. Well, maybe a little Mediterranean style in there, but medieval music, and that's what he's been doing pretty much since then. He did bring Rainbow back for a little bit about 10 years ago. I think they recorded a couple of songs, but it didn't really go anywhere. And Richie just turned 80 and his health isn't the best, and I doubt we're ever going to see any more Rainbow, but Rainbow rocks. So there you go. Alright, now this DVD is very hard to come by now. I got lucky and found it on eBay, but it's actually Fozzy. Chris Jericho's band, Unleashed, Uncensored, and Unknown. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Chris Jericho or Fozzy. I do. I think in the beginning people didn't like it because it was trying to be like Spinal Tap and it didn't really work. But I think once they dropped all the gimmicks and they started treating it like a real band, which it is. You know, I know a lot of people say, well, they're not a real band and he's not a real singer. I'm like, okay, and neither are you. But I think when they started taking it seriously, then people started to pay attention. And there you go. But this is when they were still doing the gimmick stuff. But I did like that. It was pretty funny. So on here, it's got some music videos and special features and a short film and such, which is pretty cool. So I haven't watched this yet. But this is pretty hard to come by now. So I did get pretty lucky and found it. And then we got some Megadeth with Arsenal of Megadeth, which is their music video compilation. I think it's everything up until, it says 2006 on here. Then it's got some bonus stuff, bonus features and everything. So there you go. But love Megadeth. I actually look forward to their new album, and I'm going to try to go see them on tour. And then we got, speaking of Ronnie James Dio, we do have some Dio DVDs here. So first up we have Evil or Divine, which was recorded on Friday the 13th, December 2002 at the Roseland Ballroom in New York City. Never got a chance to go there, sadly, but a lot of great bands played there. And this is also PlayStation 2 compatible. But who was in the band at the time? Or it doesn't say. No, it does. Jimmy Bain on bass. May he rest in peace. Jimmy's unfortunately gone. Simon Wright on the drums. Doug Aldrich on guitar. And Scott Warren on keyboards. Again, it does not get any better than that. So, very cool. Then we have We Rock which was this is actually a European DVD. Because it was weird because I found it at Retro Replay and I couldn't really find any info about it online, and I dug a little deeper and it's like, oh, it's actually a European release, but it is region free, so you can play it here with no worries. But it's live in Holland and the Philadelphia Spectrum, which I think the Philadelphia Spectrum show has been re-released, and then there is an interview with Ronnie on here, so very cool. And then it's got a poster. But yeah, I was like, where the fuck did this DVD come from? But it's Europe. And then this is a bootleg, and it's so funny because I'll show you in a second, but it's called The Legend Live. And you notice something about this picture right here? You notice who else is in that picture besides Ronnie? Yeah, that's Tony Iommi. So that picture was clearly taken from Heaven and Hell, but this is solo. It's recorded live in Japan. It doesn't say what year. Well, this has to be the 80s because Vivian Campbell's on guitar, so this is probably the first album tour. Yeah, you got Vivian Campbell on drums, Jimmy Bain on bass, Vinny Appice on drums, and Claude Schnell on keyboard. So yeah, this is definitely early Dio then. Very cool. Still very cool though. I love, probably my favorite singer of all time, to be honest, Ronnie James Dio. Probably. And I miss him a lot. And unfortunately, I never got to see him live, sadly. Next up, we got Audio Slave live in Cuba. Really enjoyed Audio Slave. I know it was just Rage for the Machine without Zach De La Crackhead, but it's Chris Cornell. You know, can you really go wrong? And then there is a bonus CD of when they played on AOL Music had a program back in the day called Sessions at AOL, and it was just acoustic and stuff, so I do look forward to listening to that as well. And then I've been trying to get this one on DVD for quite a while. I did get it at one of the local record stores recently, but it's Metal, Headbanger's Journey, which is apparently a great documentary. I've seen parts of it. I have not seen the whole thing, but it's a great documentary about the history of heavy metal and everything. So there you go. And then we got a couple Aerosmith DVDs here. First up, this one, is this the one they got fucked up? One of them got fucked up. Yeah, I think this is the one that got fucked up. But it's Monsters of Rock, Oakland, 1979, and then Houston, July 25th and 6th, 77, which I have those two shows by themselves. But I think this one got screwed up, and I'll have to find another one. It's got the Oakland Stadium when they did way before the Monsters of Rock Festival. They had a tour that they did here in America called that. And then we have Steven Tyler's documentary, Out on a Limb, which this was actually an exclusive at Dollar General of all places. I remember when this came out, and they're like, yeah, it's only going to be at Dollar General. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. So there's that. And the rest of this, you guessed it, is, well, this stack at least. This is all Kiss, as one would probably come to imagine, and then we got some more, and then we'll wrap this up. But first up, we have the Revenge 4-volume Revenge compilation, which is one of my favorite eras of the band. So you got music videos, you got live footage, MTV stuff, all different kind of stuff on here, which is cool. And then we have Largo, Maryland at the Cap Center, 1992, also from the Revenge Tour, which this is it's not the full show, but it is a pro shot, which leaked out a few years ago when that guy went by the name of Sam Loomis. I wonder where he got that name from, and he leaked out all that Kiss footage, and people lost their minds and everything. Next up, we have Confidential and Extreme Close-Up, which were two of the home videos back in the day, compiled onto a DVD. I remember seeing this at Entertainment when I was in the Army, and I didn't grab it, and then the next time that I went in, it sold, and I was like, damn it, I should have just grabbed it, but all good stuff. Then we have Kiss My Ass, which was the tribute. Well, it's half tribute, because they did that tribute record, so some of that's on here, and then it's footage of Kiss and stuff. So there you go. And then speaking of Sam Loomis, I have The Return of Sam Loomis Volume 1 and 2, which again, this is not, I don't think it's all of it, but it's a good chunk of the footage that guy ended up leaking out, which had never been seen before. So way too much to get into, way too much to go through here, but very, very cool. And I got this at Chiller a couple years ago because the guy had them. Then this is a official bootleg. And the reason why I say it is because you look at these and they look like they're legitimate, but they're just fancy bootlegs. But we have Kiss live in Las Vegas. So there you go. Which was from the Farewell Tour. Then another bootleg, we have Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Which this had come out, and then they found out about it, and then they threatened to sue them and stuff like that, so they pulled it, but I was able to find a copy of this. This is from Cheesy Flicks. So there you go. Then we have, unfortunately, one of the discs is missing, and the guy, I was like, yo, one of the discs is missing. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, whatever, fuck off. But this is the Stolen Footage Collection. I'll have to see if I can find another one of these. But it's Tiger Stadium, which was the first show of the reunion tour. Atlanta, 1996, which I think I have that. And then there was a Kiss TV collection from 2000 and 2001 bonus disc in here. But it's supposed to be 3 discs, and it's only 2, and not including the bonus disc. So there you go. And this is another fancy bootleg. But we have Kiss Invasion, which this is the full interview that they did on the USA Network show. I think it was called Yesterday and Today. I think that's on here. Or Night Flight was the show. But it has the TV broadcast, and then it has like the raw footage. I don't know how they got that, but they did. But yeah, it's just a fancy bootleg. Then we have Kiss Symphony, which was one of the last things that Peter Criss actually did with the band, so that's why, one of the reasons why I have it. But I think it was cool that they did with the Symphony. I thought that was really interesting. Then we have Rock the Nation Live, which is another DVD that I remember everybody having back in the day. Yes, it's got Tommy and Eric in the makeup, but I already have it. I'm not getting rid of it. And then I do have the Kissology sets. I had Volume 1 long ago, and then I got rid of it, and then I got it back again, and I do have all the bonus discs for it. They're just over there, which I'll grab them in a second here. And then we have Volume 2, and then Volume 3. They were supposed to do a Volume 4. Volume 4 was actually done. It just never came out for whatever reason. And then I forgot to grab these. I'm sorry. But that's okay. So each set got 3 bonus discs. And they were depending on what store. Like Walmart would have one. Target would have one. Best Buy would have one. So we have the Volume 1 bonus disc. So Cobo Hall, January 25th, 1976. Madison Square Garden, February 18th, 1977. And then the Capitol Center, Peter Criss's birthday, December 20th, 1977. And the only thing that's on the back is the set list. And then we have Volume 2. Capitol Center, July 7th, 1979. Budokan, April 21st, 1988. And the Ritz in New York City, August 13th, 88, which they did a club show, and it was broadcast on the radio and everything. And then we have the 3 bonus discs for Volume 3. So we have Sao Paulo, Brazil, August 27th, 1994. The KROQ Weenie Roast, June 15th, 96, which was actually the first show, technically the first show of the reunion tour, because it was a warm-up show. And then we have Madison Square Garden, July 27th, 1996. And of course, they are edited. A lot of stuff got cut out and everything, but I have bootlegs of most of that stuff that's uncut. So there you go. All right, and we'll get into this last stack here. We got some couple DVDs and mostly Blu-ray, and then we'll be done with that. And then tomorrow, I'll pick back up with we'll get the rest of it knocked out in a couple parts tomorrow. So we'll go from there. But first up, we got Red Hot Chili Peppers live at Slan Castle. Great concert if you have not checked this out. It is on vinyl, but it is so expensive. I'm not paying $500 to get it on vinyl. And then I recently got this. This is the Beatles Anthology box set, which I think Disney Plus just did it, but I heard they re-edited the episodes, then they made like a new episode, and I heard people weren't really happy with it, but this is the original 8 episodes and then bonus features on DVD, and I can't believe it was only $32. I was surprised it was that cheap, but I had these actually on VHS at one point, and then for whatever reason, I got rid of them. But these are great. These aired, I think, 30 years ago. I think 95. These aired on ABC back in the day, and they found a couple of songs that were done. Then the song that came out a couple years ago, Now and Then, they couldn't use any of it back then, but then they used AI to do it and everything, and I'm just like, I like the song, but did you really need to use AI for it? I don't think so. So yeah, but this is the original set here, so there you go. And then I do have some Blu-rays here. I don't actually. This one's a DVD. The first, there's a couple DVDs in here. My bad, because they did these weird packaging. So first up, we got some Allman Brothers, mostly DVDs. So we have Live at Great Woods, September 6, 1991. This is the first ever unedited DVD release. The previous release, they edited interview segments in between the songs and stuff, like when they were playing the songs, not in between the songs. But here, this is the full uncut concert, which is the first time this came out officially. So there you go. I think I might have that on Laserdisc as well. And then we have, again, they released it in like this digipack here, but we have the Live at the Beacon Theater DVD, which this also came out on CD, as called One Way Out. I would love if it would come out on vinyl because it was great. But yeah, this is when they would play the Beacon every March. It was like a little tradition there, but very cool. Now this one's a Blu-ray, but this one's a bootleg. I think they have since officially released it. But we have the Brothers, which was the surviving members of the Allman Brothers. So it was J-Mo, the original, the only original member left, the drummer, Warren Haynes, Derek Trucks, Oteil Burbridge, Mark Quinones, and then they had some special guests in there. So it was all the surviving members of the last lineup, and then some special guests, and they did a tribute show. But again, I think that is officially out now. And this is also a DVD. It's Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare, and then the Nightmare TV special that he did with Vincent Price. So there's that. But again, they put it in this Blu-ray case. I don't know why. Some of the, you'll see them here, but some of the music stuff, they did that for some reason. They put them in Blu-ray cases, but they were DVDs. But this one's a Blu-ray. We have Pink Floyd, The Story of Wish You Were Here documentary, so very cool. Then we got some more Rush. We got Rush R40 Live, which again is Blu-ray. So you have is it two Blu-rays or is it one? Yeah, it's one Blu-ray. They kind of did it weird on the back. They split up by sets, so you have it's all one. The concert's all on one Blu-ray. And then you have it 3 CD is they put it on 3 CDs as well. So there you go. And then this is Blu-ray. We have Santana, Hymns for Peace live at Montreux 2004. There you go. Love Santana. We got Jimi Hendrix live at Woodstock. I did have this on DVD back in the day, but it's on Blu-ray, so there you go. We got Motley Crue, Carnival of Sins live, which I know this is the theme of the next tour. They're bringing Carnival of Sins back. Not that I really care, but just letting you guys know if you care. Then we have Government Mule. I should have put this with the Allman Brothers. Bring on the Music live at the Capitol Theater, which is on vinyl. I think they released it as like a 3 vinyl set, but they spread them out. I think I have the third part. I'll have to get the other ones. Then we got Still on the Run, the Jeff Beck story, one of the all-time greats as far as I'm concerned. We've got Creed live. Then we got a couple Deep Purple releases. This one is a DVD, Perfect Strangers live from that tour. And then we have They All Came Down to Montreux, live at Montreux 2006. So there you go. That's where they got the name for the song from. Then we got the Big Four, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax live from Sofia, Bulgaria. There you go. Can't go wrong. Then we got Slayer, the Repentless Trilogy, which I think is it's a live show, and then it's the music videos they did for the it was like 3 music videos they did, and then it's a live show. So there you go. And then last but certainly, well, no, not yet. I'm sorry. We have God Bless Ozzy Osbourne, which I have seen this before. This is a great documentary. So there you go. And then, I'm sorry, last but certainly not least, I got this really nice deluxe book thing. We have Super Duper Alice Cooper, which is a documentary about Alice Cooper. And then it's got the Blu-ray is the documentary, and then the DVD is University of Montreal, January 1972, and then there's a bonus CD, Montreux, July 2009. So there you go. Got this really nice set here. Got some really cool pictures. Got early pictures of Alice Cooper, which is very cool. And then you get the documentary on Blu-ray and DVD. You get the bonus DVD and the CD. So there's that. All right, now I'm done with all that. So that's everything that was on the bottom shelf and some overflow onto the floor. Tomorrow I will pick back up. We will do the 2 smaller shelves, and that should only take me a couple parts to get through, and then I will be done. So maybe we will get to 50, maybe we won't get to 50, but I'm willing to find out. So anyway, as always, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves most importantly, and we'll talk to you all soon. Later.